My name is Holly Adams and I am a second year 7th grade math teacher. This week I will be setting up my classroom and I wanted to show you guys kind of what that looks like for me. My room is honestly in pretty good shape because luckily I'm not changing rooms or anything, so I was able to leave a lot of my stuff here, and there's a lot of stuff that's still on the walls from last year that I'm probably just gonna leave there. But the biggest thing today that I want to do is I think just get my classroom set up the way I want it in terms of all of the desks and the furniture. And I brought a bunch of stuff from home. I was very blessed by a lot of people going on my Amazon wish list and sending me things for my classroom, so very thankful for that. So I brought that with me, and I might, depending on how long just kind of arranging the room takes me, I might start putting stuff up on the walls, but really that's not super big on my to-do list today. I do have all week, and my in-service doesn't start until next week, so all this week I can just come up here and work whenever I need to. So that's where we're gonna start, is just setting up my room the way I want it. Throw this away. I got it last year and it worked for a little bit, but it's supposed to have wheels on the bottom. All the wheels fell off. I don't know if you can tell, but literally all the drawers keep falling. The drawers are just a little too short for how wide the holder is, so they fall out all the time. It was so annoying, so I'm just gonna buy a smaller set of drawers and put it on a table and get rid of this. I need to take all of these down. I don't know why I left them up last year, but basically that is my Math Master wall, and I really like it. Here, sit down and talk. Let's sit down and chat. I loved doing the Math Master wall, and my kids really liked it too last year. So basically, at the beginning of the year, I gave them all an index card to decorate with their name on it, and after their first unit assessment, anyone who got masters, so the way it works in Texas, I'm in Texas, by the way, if I didn't say that. So how our scoring works in Texas is we basically follow the STAR, which is our statewide assessment to determine how they're doing, which we can get into that later. But all of our district assessments follow the STAR. So there are 4 different categories that you can score into. You can score masters, meets, approaches, and not met. So all of my students that earn masters or meets on the first assessment, meaning they passed, they get to go on the Math Master wall. And then every assessment after that, if they get masters or they grow. So if they got not met on the first one and they got approaches on the second one, I'd put them on there, because it's not realistic. I teach math. It's not realistic to expect every single one of my students to master. It's not gonna happen, especially in the area that I teach. We have some very, very low performers academically. I had a lot of students in 7th grade last year that did not know how to multiply or divide. But anyway, all that to say, I love the Math Masters wall. I'm going to use it again this year, and my school specifically focuses a lot on growth, not just your score. It's all about progress and growth. So that is why if you grow from your previous assessment to the current assessment, you get to get on the wall. Chromebook cart is gonna go right here, I think, because my school used to do one-to-one Chromebooks and it just didn't really work for us. So last year we switched back to classroom sets. So I think I'm gonna put my cart right there because there's a plug-in, which obviously we need to charge. So these white ones are the student desks. It's 2 to a table. And then there's, I don't know if you can see, but there's a brown one. No, I'm definitely blocking it. Oh, you can barely see it. There's a brown one back there. And I think I'm gonna put it flush here with mine, just so I can have more like organizational space. I had it, where did I have it? I had it at the front where the Chromebook cart's going. I had it there last year and it was fine, but I also had my Chromebook cart way back here and that did not work, having it in the back. It was so annoying. Anyway, so I'm gonna move that one over here. I'm hot. The same height, but I think that's okay. Depending on how my student desks get arranged, I might even turn this one sideways so it's up against the wall like this. I just don't know. And that is the issue with my room, because it's a very big room. Like, I'm very happy that I have a room this big, but my school is very big. I just need to stop moving. So my school is very big. We have 1,100 kids in our school, and I'm math. Math at my campus is double blocked, meaning every single student, regardless of ability level, goes to math for twice as long as any other subject. Because of that, our class sizes end up being a lot larger than others, because we have to fit more kids into fewer classes. So we're on a block schedule, and where like science and social studies will only see a student every other day, I see the same kids every single day, which is fine. I'm fine with it, whatever. I have 31 student desks in here and 31 students in a lot of my classes. So all that to say, it gets a little crowded in here, and I would like to find a way to organize the desks to where everyone has wiggle room and I can like walk around the room freely. It was a struggle last year. I rearranged my room like 4 different times like throughout the year, and it was a nightmare. So we'll see what I can come up with. I think I know how I want to organize the desks, at least for right now. But I also, do y'all see that like shelf right there? I had my kids put their backpacks there last year, which was fine. I liked not having backpacks at their desks because it was less distracting, and you know, they couldn't just be messing with it the whole time, and they weren't on the floor, so I wasn't tripping over them when I was walking. But they're 12 years old, so they would forget things in their bags, so I was constantly like having kids getting up and going to their bags all throughout class. So I don't think I'm gonna do that this year, so I don't know what to do with those shelves. I'm probably gonna keep them just because I don't know how to get rid of them. I had this is not a bulletin board. This is just bulletin board paper and border stapled to the wall, because I really wanted 2 bulletin boards last year. I only have 1 in my room. I do have So I have this back whiteboard, which is really nice. And then in the front of the room, I have a whiteboard and our Clear Touch. And then that is a real bulletin board. But I wanted two because I wanted to be able to do a word wall. And yes, I did put this up, but you wanna know how often there were actual words on here? Never. There were never actual vocab words on here. I did it for Unit 1, and those Unit 1 vocab words stayed up there until like the star, when I had to take them down for testing, which is so embarrassing. So I'm just going to pretend this never happened, take it down, trash it, and then I'll have more wall space to put like posters and stuff. I am going to try and be better about my vocabulary this year because we have a very high percentage of students that are English language learners. So vocabulary is a really important thing, but I rarely ever use this backboard. It's disgusting, not my fault. There was like summer camps here, so the board is gross. But I do not really use the backboard because it's in the back of the room. So I think I'm going to try and do like magnetic vocabulary words and have them at the front whiteboard when we're like learning them, and then move them to the backboard, and this can just be like an ongoing vocabulary board. But this did not work. I have like little Velcro dots. It just didn't work. So I'm going to now rip this down. This wall, or this whiteboard, I talked about it just a second ago, but the one thing I did use this board for was I had our objectives written on the board back here, and basically that's because the locks aren't on these wheels. If we have someone come into our classroom and observe, part of our like rating as a teacher is, do we have the learning objective posted? Which is kind of frustrating because I do like a slide at the beginning of class and I always put it on the slide, but if they come in the middle of class and I'm using the screen for something else, the objective isn't on there anymore, so I could like get dinged for that. The only problem with having it on the backboard is I do kind of want the students to engage with it at least a little bit, so I think I'm gonna do it on the front board because it's the first thing that the kids say when they come in. What are we doing today? What are we doing today? And I'm like, literally, it's two different places. It's on the backboard and it's on the screen. So I'm just gonna have it on the front. And I think this board, I'm not sure, it definitely is going to be the vocabulary words back here, But I also a lot of my kids, they love drawing on whiteboards, so I will occasionally open it up to, like, if we have a little bit of free time or if someone finishes their work early, I'll let them draw on my boards. So I think I might have like half of it reserved for like just drawing and other stuff, and then the other half reserved for vocabulary. Not sure yet, so we're just gonna move on. Also, look at how janky our Texas flag is. The American flag, God bless America, has a holder. The Texas flag doesn't, because it broke, I guess, before I moved into this room, and we just can't get another one. So it's hanging on by a thread over there, which I feel is a little bit disrespectful, but I don't have any other way to hang it. So it is what it is. I am lucky that I have a lot of storage room in my room. Like, I have this shelf and that shelf that just have like shelves, but then I also have shelves and drawers that have like doors, and I can close them and lock them, and I'm the only one with the key. That's definitely a lie, other people have keys. And then I have all of these shelves, which again, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but let's take this thing down. Last year was so chaotic because it was my first year ever teaching, and I had no idea what I was doing. They told me what my room was, so I came in here and it was chaotic. It was a mess. I was focusing on all the wrong things, as first year teachers do. You know, I was focused way more like on the aesthetic of my room than the functionality of it, which is part of the reason why I had to redo it so many times. But the teacher that came before me left a lot of stuff in here. A lot of it was just garbage that she didn't clean out before she left. And then some of it, like, we have a lot of district resources and campus resources that stay in the room. So being brand new, like, I had no idea what was important, what I should keep, what I should throw out, what I was even allowed to throw out. So at the end of last year, I did try to spend a lot of time actually going through a lot of the materials and supplies that were just in my room that I had no idea what they went to. And I would say I was pretty successful, but this year I want to just absolutely know what's in my room, because like a lot of this stuff, like, what is this? Egg cartons? What is this? You know what I mean? So just like stuff like this, I'm like, I need to figure out what it is, whether it belonged to the previous teacher or the campus. If it belonged to the previous teacher, I'm throwing it away if I don't think I'm gonna use it. If it belongs to the campus, I'm going to either beg someone else to take it or just put it like on the bottom or top shelves. That way they're out of the way. Like all of this, I don't use this stuff. So I put it way up there. That way I never have to worry about trying to reach it. But anyway, all that to say, I have lots of organizing in my future. Just trying to move this out of the way as much as possible. Okay. Not much, but oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate it. What do I do? I hate that so much. See, and now I'm wondering, like, do I just hate it because that's not how it was last year? Or do I actually hate it? I'm gonna leave it for now, and probably like tomorrow or whenever I come back this week, if I still absolutely hate it, I will move it. But I just want it out of the way, you know? Maybe I'll put it in the back. I do not know. Okay, I also have that filing cabinet over there, which I didn't really use that much last year because it was full of random stuff that I didn't know what it was, but I did go through it at the end of last year, and it is for the most part empty, and I ended up finding a good use for at least one of the drawers. So I know I want to use it more this year. So having it in the back corner, like my desk is on that corner. It is as far away from me as possible. It doesn't make sense. So I don't want it over by my desk because just like logistically, there's no way to make that happen. But I was thinking, I was a little too hasty moving this, and I think I'm gonna move it back and make just enough space for the filing cabinet, because I think having space between these two is better. Or maybe I should just move it and put it on that side. No, I think I am. I'm gonna put it right there. We'll see. It's also quite heavy, so I don't know if I can move it by myself. So it turns out it's not that heavy, it's just cumbersome. But now, is it gonna look good right there? What do you think? I'm worried that the depth and this is pretty deep too. Let's just try it. Let's just see. Oh no, I hate that too. I think it's the depth that's throwing me off. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it for now because I feel like I've spent too much time on this and it doesn't matter that much. I would like to attempt to set up my desks the way I think I want them, and then I'm probably gonna go because it's almost 2 o'clock and I haven't eaten lunch yet, so. As far as math classrooms go, because the tables are different for basically all of the contents, don't ask me why, but all the student desks and teacher desks are different depending on what content you teach. So these are the math tables. They're only found in math rooms, and they're so large and clunky that this is like the most common layout I see, like when I go look at other people's classrooms. So this is the layout that I wanted to try. It's always hard to know whether or not it's gonna work without putting the chairs down, because the tables might fit, but then when you have 2 chairs back to back, they both need enough space to like be backed out. Does that make sense? So for now, I'm gonna leave it. It's very like, it's kind of messy right now, but I think I am gonna leave them, and I'm leaving all of the like wheels unlocked. That way I can move them easily. I think this might be where I end day 1 of setting up my classroom. There is a lot to do still, but I have time. Tomorrow or whenever I come back, basically next video, there should be a lot more like fun things that I'm doing, like going through this and going through all of the stuff that I brought to put up on the walls and just decorate. So today was, I guess, more like big picture, moving big things around, boring. Tomorrow is definitely gonna be more fun. So if you enjoyed today, or even if you didn't enjoy today, but you think you're gonna enjoy the next video based on the description that I just gave, please join me for that one. Be on the lookout for that one. And if you liked it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I hope to be posting more teaching content as the year goes on. I'm super excited to be starting this year, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.